So now we'll do the caliphate of Hazrat Usman. We studied how Hazrat Umar was killed by a man called Feroz, and then Hazrat Umar nominated 6 people to become his successors. So now will study how Hazrat Usman became the third Khalifa. But before doing that, we'll do the background of Hazrat Usman. That we know he became the third caliph after Hazrat Umar, and before that, he was born in Makkah, and he was from a wealthy background, meaning he was rich. And he was also one of the persons who could read and write. And before accepting Islam, he led a pure life and was never involved in drinking, gambling, or worshipping idols. He was the first among Umayyads. Umayyads is a tribe, so he was the first among his own tribe to accept Islam and is one of the 10 blessed companions. He is also known as Zunnurain. Zunnurain means possessor of two lights, as he married two daughters of Nabi Karim, first Ruqayya and then Kulsum. Hazrat Usman also migrated to Abyssinia and then Medina. He worked as a trader and soon became rich merchant. Hazrat Usman is known to be Ghani, as he spent his wealth for the services of Islam. He took part in all the battles except for Battle of Badr. A severe famine during the Khilafat of Hazrat Umar broke out, so a caravan belonging to Hazrat Usman, which was carrying large supplies of food, arrived in Medina Tayyibah. Hazrat Usman distributed the entire stock among the poor. So, Ghani literally means that he used to make large contributions for the welfare of Islam. This is why he was known to be Ghani. And before that, Hazrat Umar was known to be a Farooq, and before him, Hazrat Abu Bakr was known as Siddiq. So we need to also learn their titles. One of them was Siddiq, other one was Farooq, third one is Ghani. Then we are studying his how he was elected as the third caliph. So on the deathbed, Hazrat Umar nominated a panel of 6 companions to become his successor after mutual consultation. Abdurrahman bin Auf was not willing to take huge responsibility, and Talha was not present at Medina, so it was decided that Abdurrahman should choose the Khalifa. He consulted with everyone. Saad supported Hazrat Usman, Zubair mentioned Hazrat Usman and Hazrat Ali. Hazrat Usman voted for Hazrat Ali, and Hazrat Ali voted for Hazrat Usman. The majority favored Hazrat Usman, and he became the third caliph. Abdul Rahman was the first one to swear pledge to Hazrat Usman, and this is how he became the caliph. So we did so many battles for Hazrat Umar. Now before doing battles for Hazrat Usman, we are going to study his caliphate with a different perspective and with a different angle, because he faced many revolts. Revolts mean that he faced many people became against him. And so the last years in which Hazrat Usman was ruling, initial years were very nice, but during the last few years of his caliphate, there were many revolts against him. So we are going to study those causes, that why people became against him. So the last 4 years of Hazrat Usman led to many conspirators to divide and weaken the unity of Muslims. There is such a huge area that needs to be administered. We cannot avoid conspirators. So these conspirators were continuously working to weaken the unity of Muslim Ummah. And like we know, the Jews were always, and they are, our biggest enemies. And they were expelled from Medina Tayyibah and then at Khaybar, so they were waiting to destroy Islam. So Jews can never be our friends. And they were the biggest conspirators against Islam, because it was not something which they could accept. They were absolutely jealous due to the strength of Muslim Ummah, and they wanted to weaken it. The conspirators spread it to Egypt, as many Jews accepted Islam just to divide Muslims into sects so that they would fight among themselves. So this is what we are seeing and what we are experiencing nowadays as well, that Muslim Ummah is so much divided into different sects that we do not work or we do not act like same Ummatis. We rather our first question is that which sect do you belong to? We do not introduce ourselves as Muslims. Rather, we want to introduce ourselves and we want to associate ourselves with different sort of sects. And this is one of the evil things that Jews have done. And they were the ones who wanted to divide Muslims, and they only accepted Islam just to divide us. And the leader of the Jews, Abdullah bin Sabah, so he was the man, he was the leader of Jews. He used the name of Hazrat Ali to instigate people against Hazrat Usman. And jealousy between Hashmites and Umayyads weakened the Muslim power. So as we know that Hazrat Usman belonged to a different tribe. He belonged to the tribe of Umayyad. While Nabi Kareem and Hazrat Ali, because Hazrat Ali was the son of Abu Talib. So they belonged to a different tribe, Hashmites. So Abdullah bin Sabah was a leader of the Jews, and he used to take the name of Hazrat Ali, and then he would instigate Muslim people against Hazrat Usman. So there was this conflict and there was this jealousy which was arising between Hashmites and Umayyads tribe, the tribe of Hazrat Usman and the tribe of Hazrat Ali. The tribe of Hazrat Ali was also the tribe of Nabi Kareem, Hashmites. Okay, and why they were turning against one another? It's because of Abdullah bin Sabah. Then then Hazrat Usman was accused of different sort of allegations. He was accused of, number one allegation was that he had appointed his relatives who were not capable as governors, which was baseless, because there were 12 provinces, out of which only in four, Egypt, Syria, Kufa, and Basra, Hazrat Usman appointed his relatives as governors. The reason behind it was that he wanted governors who were loyal to him because these provinces were of high importance. Moreover, there was no legal bar to appointment of relatives to higher posts. The governors appointed by Hazrat Usman were highly capable. However, some of these appointments were made by Hazrat Umar, such as Muawiyah, who was a relative of Hazrat Usman. He was the governor of Syria. So Hazrat Usman let him continue his office. And the second one was Abdullah bin Saad, who was a foster brother of Hazrat Usman. He was appointed as the governor of Egypt and was very successful as governor. As under his rule, whole North Africa was conquered. So the number one charge against Hazrat Usman was, so one more thing, that whenever we'll discuss the charges or whenever we'll discuss the allegations that were put upon Hazrat Usman, we'll also give the counter argument that this was not the case, because it's highly disrespectful for us to say that our caliph was not just, our caliph did not appoint, it's not a good practice to accuse a man who is one of the 10 blessed companions. He's promised Jannah before the day of judgment, and he remained in the company of Nabi Kareem. So it does not befit us to attack him or to put allegations on him. Rather, this was the trick of Jews to cause divide among Muslim Ummah. So what happened was we studied how Hazrat Umar appointed governors of different provinces and how his administrative rule was so successful, right? So during his time, during the lifetime of Hazrat Umar, he appointed few governors of Syria and Egypt, and they were also the relatives of Hazrat Usman. So people accused Hazrat Usman that he had appointed his relatives who were not capable as governors, which was a completely baseless allegation, because his two of the relatives were appointed by Hazrat Umar in his lifetime, and number two, they were capable, were eligible to become governors. And Abdullah bin Saad, we need to give his example as well, that he was a foster brother of Hazrat Usman, and during his rule, whole North Africa was conquered. So we cannot say that they were not capable, because if they were not capable, then how did he conquer such a huge area of North Africa? And also the other fact that Hazrat Usman appointed his relatives as governors in just two other provinces. Because in Egypt and in Syria, the governors were appointed by Hazrat Umar. in Kufa and Basra, he appointed his relatives as governors. Why is that so? Because he wanted governors who were loyal to him. And why he wanted to do so? Because these provinces were of high importance. Egypt, Syria, Kufa, Basra. And in Egypt and Syria, we need to remember that the governors were appointed by Hazrat Umar and not by Hazrat Usman. He just appointed two governors in Kufa and Basra who were his relatives, and they were capable and they were loyal to Hazrat Usman. So this is charge number one. Then Hazrat Usman appointed Saad bin Abi Waqas as governor of Kufa. But when he was unable to control it, he was deposed and his stepbrother Walid bin Uqba was appointed. Walid served his best to people of Kufa and conducted campaigns in Azerbaijan and Armenia. In Basra, Abu Musa Ashri was deposed on the demand of people of Basra, and Abdullah bin Amir, a cousin of Hazrat Usman, was appointed as per the wish of the people of Basra. So again, a counter argument could be given that in Basra, people demanded the appointment of Abdullah bin Amir, and surprisingly or luckily, this could be said that Abdullah bin Amir was a cousin of Hazrat Usman, but this was on the demand of people of Basra. And while if he thought that a governor is unable to manage or is unable to control the province, then he also removed Saad bin Abi Waqas and then appointed his stepbrother Walid bin Uqba. So he was not unaware of whatever was happening in different provinces. Rather, Hazrat Usman was bit of soft natured, and Hazrat Umar, he did not have soft nature. So this is exactly why that once you have soft nature, people start attacking you with different sort of allegations. And then Abdullah bin Amir conquered first Sistan and Khurasan, sorry. None of the governors appointed by Hazrat Usman were a failure. Furthermore, Hazrat Usman was thought to be a weak Khalifa because he did not impose restrictions on governors like Hazrat Umar. But the truth was his governors enjoyed his confidence, so Hazrat Usman did not interfere in their day-to-day affairs and gave them freedom. In addition, he was accused. So here comes the other accused. Here comes the other allegation that was put on Hazrat Usman, that in addition he was accused to burn the copies of Holy Quran, but Hazrat Usman did it as there were no standardized copies of Quran, and under the supervision of Hazrat Usman, fresh copies of Quran were made, and all unauthentic copies were burned. And this was one. There is one more reason why those copies of Quran were burned, because Islam was spreading. So different people in different areas have different dialects. I can literally relate it with myself that when I am in Punjab or when I am in areas of when I am in cities of Punjab, then people have different sort of dialect. What we say in Karachi and what is practiced in Sindh is something which is not practiced in Punjab. So there is huge difference between Punjab and Sindh. So obviously their dialects are different too. So when Islam was spreading, people had different dialects and they were pronouncing different sort of Arabic, or they were pronouncing different sort of Quranic Arabic, and this led to the meanings being altered. So this is exactly why he burned all those copies, and he then made standardized copies in order to avoid the problems of dialect. And this is why he burned those copies, and then he was accused to see he burned the copies of Holy Quran, Nauzubillah. The rebels then wanted to depose Khalifa, and to achieve this, a large number of rebels from Egypt, Kufa, and Basra marched to Medina and encamped. Hazrat Ali tried to argue with them and succeeded in persuading them to go back after Hazrat Usman accepted two conditions that were to remove governor of Egypt and appointment of Muhammad bin Abu Bakr. So now what happened? There was this change of events that took place, that there were rebels against Khalifa, and they wanted Hazrat Usman to leave his position. And a large number of people from Egypt, Kufa, and Basra, they marched to Medina, and then Hazrat Ali tried to mitigate the situation, and the situation was mitigated. And they were persuaded, and these people from Egypt, Kufa, and Basra, they were persuaded, and they went back after Hazrat Usman accepted two of their conditions that were to remove the governor of Egypt Like he removed the governor of Basra. He removed the governor of it. These people wanted to remove governor of Egypt and wanted to appoint Muhammad bin Abu Bakr as the governor of Egypt. And this was accepted by Hazrat Usman. But then these rebels returned to Medina after 4 days because they had intercepted an order of Khalifa to the governor of Egypt to kill Muhammad bin Abu Bakr and his companions on their arrival, which was a complete lie. That this was a rumor that spread it, that Hazrat Usman has said that when these people come back to Egypt, and the rumor was that he ordered governor of Egypt to kill Muhammad bin Abu Bakr and his companions on the arrival. And then rebels came to know about this development, so they returned back to Medina Tayyaba right after 4 days. Hazrat Usman swore that he did not pass any such order, but the rebels insisted that Hazrat Usman should abdicate or he should be deposed. Hazrat Usman refused to abdicate, and rebels laid siege outside Khalifa's home. The siege lasted for 50 days, and they didn't allow food or water to reach to him. Hazrat Ali deputed his sons Hassan and Hussein, and Zubair deputed his son Abdullah to protect Hazrat Usman. Some of the some of the companions reached to Hazrat Usman during the siege who wanted to help him and fight the rebels. But Hazrat Usman refused as he didn't want Muslim bloodshed. Some of the rebels jumped into Hazrat Usman's house and killed him while he was reading Quran. His wife Naila tried to save him, but her fingers were chopped off while Hazrat Usman was reading Surah Baqarah, and the verse stated, "But Allah will suffice thee as against them, and He is all hearing, all knowing." The unity which was maintained by two Khalifas was now lost, as Muslims were divided into two parties, Umayyads and Hashmids. Umayyads were under the leadership of Muawiyah, who fought with Hazrat Ali for the blood of Hazrat Usman and established Umayyad dynasty. So Hazrat Amir Muawiyah was appointed by Hazrat Umar, and now when Hazrat Usman was killed, because after Hazrat Usman, Hazrat Ali became the fourth caliph, and this marked the divide of Muslim Ummah. This marked that now the unity of Muslim Ummah had weakened up, and Muslim Ummah divided into Umayyad and in Hashmids, and this was all because of Abdullah bin Sabah, who was a Jew and he was a Jewish leader. He wanted to create disunity among Muslim Ummah, and due to false rumors and false information that kept on spreading from here to there, Hazrat Usman was killed, and he was accused of baseless allegations, and this is how Hazrat Usman was martyred. Then, studying more about his administration and character, Hazrat Usman used to hear public complaints on Friday prayers, and Majlis-e-Shura, which was established by Hazrat Umar, maintained and settled matters of the state. He relaxed restrictions that were imposed on people by Hazrat Umar. Hazrat Usman made extensions to Holy Prophet's mosque and constructed new mosques. He also ordered the construction of border and guest houses. Hazrat Usman allowed Arabs to acquire agricultural lands. Dams were built to protect Medina from floods. He also made arrangements to supply drinking water, and lands were set for ground grazing for horses, and he raised salaries of officers in armed forces. A fleet of 500 ships was also built to fight with Greeks. He is known for his strong and moral character and is known for modesty, humility, and chastity. He was a generous, kind-hearted, soft-spoken, and a man of great wisdom. And this is it about Hazrat Usman. We now just have Hazrat Ali. We'll cover his content on coming Saturday, inshallah. Till then, if you have any question, you can unmute yourself, or else take care, and Jazakallah khair for joining.